Hello, I have a mic today. Let's see if this is working. I have to check to see if you guys can hear me. 1 second here. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Okay. Yeah, it's working. Assalamu alaikum, family. I don't know what time you're going to be tuning into this and listening to this today, but do want to thank you in advance for just being here and being willing and open to learning something new. So, I have a little mic, so that's my update. Let me take this little sticker off. So, welcome back to another live discussion series of Islam and the Destiny of Man. Today, we've reached a major milestone. We're wrapping up chapter 1. Woo! I wanted to take this moment to thank everyone who's joined in me like while I'm live on this journey or who's just listened to it when they have the time. And I really appreciate you guys engaging by liking and commenting and sharing your reflections in the comment section. As we're wrapping up chapter 1, I want to reflect on some profound insights about Islam's unique place in the modern world. And then a little teaser next time, we'll dive into chapter 2, which will be exploring the continuity and contrast. And trust me, it's a fascinating discussion and you won't want to miss it. So make sure that you tune in to this series. It's going to be a very long series because this book is extremely long. But yeah, today's short live, semi short live, um, is just going to be about maybe 30 minutes. I don't know, we'll see how long it's going to be. But yeah, in chapter 1, we went over a lot of things. We went over like what history taught Muslims about unity and disunity, which I really liked. If you guys want to go back and listen to that one, you should. We also explored the spiritual dimensions of Islam and the trauma of the Muslim community that was caused by the hands of the white man, and a lot of other cool things as well. So I'm your girl Khadijah, if you don't know already. And yeah, we're going to be addressing some like several critical themes and highlight Islam during, you know, significance, during significance fragmentation in modern world. So first, I want to remind everyone that it is up to you guys to go and research everything that I'm saying. However, this is coming from the book Islam and the Destiny of Man. And so I challenge you to go and look into that. But we're also reminded of the political complexities of Muslims and like what Muslims face globally. So the unqualified support given by nations like the United States to certain powers has created a challenging dynamic and sometimes pushing Muslims towards other global alliances that might seem less harmful. Yeah, we're jumping right into wrapping up what the remainder pages in chapter 1 is about. So this situation is filled with contradictions and forces some to live in a world of political fantasies, disconnected from the harsh realities that we live in today. Oh, I have my mic backwards. But yeah, this section of the book, it really looked at the Quranic description of Islam as a middle nation, or a community of balance, right? Spanning the globe geographically and ideologically. Islam stands as a unique force between both the East and the West. And despite the political, cultural, and historical distortions it has endured, the sense of unity within the Ummah, some may argue that it remains strong. Some might argue that there's a sense of disunity, but it's rooted in a shared loyalty to faith and heritage. Um, However, the question that I ask specifically is, does that same thing still remain today in the sense or in the degree in which the author is discussing in the book? Because a lot of Muslims today, from my discovery, and please let me know in the comments if you think differently, are not tapped into their history and are still going through the trauma that their parents have teach them and passed on for generations to generations. Someone basically agreed, I see. So um, in a world increasingly dominant by materialism and technology, Islam offers, I would say, a contrast perspective, right? One where God, not worldly pursuits, is at the center of life, right? So this spiritual anchor provides stability and meaning in, even in the midst of the global chaos, with everyone going through what they're going through right now and different wars going on and just the heartbreaks of what the Muslim community is going through. The chapter quotes a priest who observed that Muslims still make God the central certainty of their lives, and it highlighted Islam resilience against ideology and cultural shifts, um, which is mashallah, that I can say is still today, right? So another intriguing idea is how Muslims view time and how Muslims view history. Let me know in the comments if you can guess what that is, or give me your perspective on what you think Muslims view time or history as. But the book itself talks about, unlike modern men, who often view the past as irrelevant. And this is what's really interesting, irrelevant, and focuses on a future filled with spectacular dreams. Muslims see history as a living part of their presence, which is so interesting because I have come across a lot of Muslims that don't see the value of history. Prime example would be the place where the Prophet, peace be upon him, once lived, his wife Khadijah. On top of that, now is toilets. And we as Muslims just go about it as if that is okay and that's the norm. And there's no respect of history when it comes to that. So I don't think that same love for history that the Muslims of the past had is translated or come to today's um, Muslims. So that's why I'm striving to be a believer and not just a Muslim. So, anyways, the lives of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and his companions and other pious figures feel ever present, right? Offering guidance and inspiration in the here and the now. So, the book introduces us to one of my favorite figures, Mustapha. He's a symbolic figure representing the ordinary Muslim, right? He embodies a life of simplicity, spirituality, and adventure. And he contrasts sharply with Western obsession with productivity and control, emphasis on control. So Mustafa worldview teaches us about resilience, or and also like reliance on Allah and accepting of destiny. So he practiced radical acceptance, which all Muslims should strive to practice, right? And the transcendence of nature of life. So this perspective offers a profound lesson. Can you guys guess what that is? It's the fact that our purpose is not merely to work or accumulate, but to worship, reflect, and embrace the divine plan, aka radical acceptance through Allah. So, as so I said this was going to be 30 minutes. I definitely lied. I apologize for that. I forgot that this is going to be a shorter uh, review, because I do some that's 5 to 15 minutes, and I do some that's 30 minutes to an hour, to be able to hit people's preferences. When I put out the poll, there was a even split between what people prefer. But yeah, so we're going to close it up, right? So where this chapter one basically left us with a powerful realization for me. The realization is that Islam is timeless. It has timeless principles and it offers answers to many of the crises we're facing in our modern world today. However, how the bananas can we know about these timeless principles that the history of Islam offers us if we don't go and seek out the knowledge and understand the history of Islam? So I'm challenging you, my family, to actively go out and seek out the history to be able to find those answers to the challenges that we're having in our modern world today. And anyways, I digress. So the chapter emphasizes on the unity and the balance to its spiritual depth. Islam continues to be a beacon almost for those who are speaking an alternative to dislocation of contemporary life. This is something cool that I came across either yesterday or this morning, right? There's a place in Germany where there's this man that he's a Catholic, and he was rolling in bank. Like, he has so much money, so much so that he left hundreds of thousands of homes for people that their rent could be as little as 88 cents a month. 88 cents a month. And you're probably wondering, what do they have to do to get these houses? That's what I was wondering. I went down a whole rabbit hole trying to figure this out. Apparently, there's only three things that you have to do. One, be a Catholic. Two, pray 3 times a day according to Catholic, traditions, and prove that you're doing so. And three, serve your community in some way. That's it. It made me get into this mindset of, where is that in the Muslim community? Especially in big countries. Where is that? Why are we lacking that? Why aren't there people? Because there's people in the Muslim community that has the money to do that same thing, but I personally don't see it. And inshallah, maybe one day I'll be able to become that person for others. Maybe we who are on this live will be able, or who's listening later on will be able to become that person for others, to build a community that installs Islamic practices and allow them to learn Islamic history. Because one of the things about this, when I'm looking into it, is the fact that all these people that are living in these places has an obligation to be able to learn about the history of this person that came about it, and also of the history of Catholicism. And I guess what I just say might have offended some people, because I saw that some people dropped the live. I apologize if I offend you in any way. I am not trying to be offensive. I'm just trying to open our hearts, open our minds to think more meaningfully and more differently. But anyways, I digress. So let's go back to the main topic, right? Next time we'll be beginning chapter 2, where we'll be exploring how Islam navigates relationship between traditions and modernity, like modern times, which is going to be really interesting. I'm super excited to see what the author says about that and what we're going to learn about that. So before we end, I want to take a second. I want to step back, and I want you to take away something from this, right? There's a lot that we went over today. But I want to challenge you to look more into Mustapha. And I want to also challenge you to look more into Islamic history. In my Islamic Resource Hub, which you could find a link to that on my bio for YouTube, you will go under the free resources and you can look there. You see books for free on Islamic history. If you're not a book person, you're on YouTube, baby. You're on YouTube, baby. Just YouTube it. Find something about Islamic history and learn something new. Come back to this video and let me know one new thing that you learned, so that we can also learn about it as well. And let's discuss it together. But before we really wrap it up, because I said that before, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that you don't miss the next live session where we dive into chapter 2. And if you have any reflections or any questions from what I said today, today's discussion, please feel free to drop a comment. I'll be happy to engage with you guys, and I'd love to hear from you guys on your perspective on what I discussed or what the author spoke about. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning in today. May Allah bless you for having open hearts and minds to listen to this live. And I just pray that we continue to build this community as a community that thrives to think differently and actively reason and learn about Islam on a more holistic and deeper level. So, assalamu alaikum. And thank you, family, for being here. Bye.